Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com. ZNation. ZNation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. ZNation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Hello, worlds.
What's back up, everybody? Welcome to ZNation Radio. This is Zayna de Gaia.
And this is Emily Sunset Martinez.
And we are broadcasting live from Hollywood, Florida, right here on SoFloRadio.com. Coming at you on this Thursday, the only day there is. All we have is this moment right now together. Can we take a breath together, please? We have a really special guest for y'all. So listen, if you're listening for the first time, welcome. And if you're a repeat listener, welcome. We're so excited to have people listening, if there are people listening. We love you guys. ZNationRadio is a podcast radio talk show that airs out of Hollywood, Florida. We shine the light on what's good in the world, people doing brilliant things, and transmissions that are awakening humanity. Every week, we welcome inspiring people who are living like they're the real deal. They're living conscious lifestyles. They're making a difference in the world. They're expressing themselves. They are living their dharma, and they're operating conscious businesses that really, are making a difference for humanity. And we love to meet these people and learn from them. So this week we have the creator, founder of Rage Yoga. Welcome, Miss Lindsay Istasi.
Yes, got it.
Live from Calgary, Canada. Welcome, sister.
Hi.
So great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Is it snowing?
No.
I heard some places got snow recently. Apparently, spring was not coming yet.
Isn't like the groundhog, you're supposed to see the shadow and then winter?
I don't know anything about that. I think that's a pile of bullshit.
Right.
It just snows when it wants to snow. Oh, welcome, Lindsay. So great to have you, girl. Can't wait to talk about what it is that you've created and who you are in the world. Thank you so much for being who you are and sharing your expression so boldly.
Pleasure, really.
So vividly, so expressed.
Word. I'm excited to get into the creation of Rage.
Yes. And before we go into that, Sunset, you just came back from Vipassana, girl.
Yes, I did.
I kept thinking about my New Yorker in Vipassana for 10 days. No talking.
All I wanted to say, the first thing I said when we were able to talk, all I said was fuck yes. I wanted to say fuck so many times there. I was just, because, everything that comes up, you're just fuck. My brain was going like that, and I was just trying to be calm, not to interrupt anybody's, flow. But that was one of the first things I said. I was just fuck. And they were looking at me what? And I was listen. This is my word. And yeah, so it was.
So back up a little bit. So I just want to get a little bit of your experience. So you took the train there.
Yeah. Okay. I took the train there. I did everything as hard as possible, so that way.
As hard as possible.
Yes. So if I felt the need to leave, I would just be oh, that's just too much work. So cause. It's 10 days because, Vipassana 10 days, you're not talking to anybody. You're not looking at anybody. You're with yourself and you have time to deal with whatever's there. Because think about it. A lot of times we're in our day-to-day lives and we have to worry about so many other things that we don't even have time to be with ourselves. So it's there's no excuse. So sometimes you want to run away from yourself too sometimes. It's not even just the facility. I was running away from wanting to have to deal with me. And so I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm ready to take the Band-Aids off. And so I took the train there, which was an awesome train ride. I met some amazing people on the train. So it was like I settled into the experience.
It's like an 11-hour ride, right?
11?
8 hours?
I think it was like 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I know that I left around 8 something and I got there around 6 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, about 6 to 8 hours, which was an awesome ride. Met some cool people. I got some free food. I got cool with the cook there.
What cook?
The cook on the train.
What they don't eat? What do they sell there? They have these little veggie burgers and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, but
and chips.
Yeah.
Doritos.
Well, I mean, they have a little restaurant area too.
Yeah.
So
What did you have? Did you have the spaghetti stuff?
I don't know. I had like something. I had meat. I knew I was not going to eat meat for like a bunch of days.
They need help in the kitchen
God.
at the train. But
They
okay.
really do.
Okay, so you got to Vipassana and they picked you up.
Yeah.
And then they took your phone away.
Yeah, they took everything away. I had like 2 bags. One bag with my stuff, like the regular stuff I was going to have for day to day. And then like my journal with my pen, my my phone, my charger, whatever. But you know what? I was in a space where, at least with my phone, I was like, oh, take it. Thank you. I'm good. Like, I didn't even have really a desire the whole time I was there to really be on the phone. I really liked the whole time just being by myself. What I really wanted was my journal and my book. But, you know, like, no, you're not allowed to have any stimulus at all. Like, you couldn't even play with a pet or anything. So they took everything away. And I kind of got there late because of the way the train works. So I wasn't able to, like, I didn't know any of the people I was sleeping with's names at all. But
Because you share a room, right? You had like 4 people.
Yeah, I'm not like sleeping. We're not all in the same bed. But like we had like, it's like dorm like. But I had no idea their names because I got there. We had a meeting and then there was like 30 minutes. So I met one girl. And then after that, it was like no talking at all. So I'm like, have no idea where any of these people come from or anything like that, which was really exciting. After, when we were done, we were like, so what's your name? Like, you know, whatever. So, but you know what's funny? The first thought that came into my mind when we got silent was like, they don't like me. Like, because, you know, everything got real quiet. And I was like, these people don't even know me. And you're already thinking they don't like you. So, like, I had to go through, like, a whole breakthrough with that throughout the days. But, all right, so I said earlier, you're not allowed to have any stimuli at all, right? You're not supposed to write or whatever. But I'm going to admit, and I told the people there, I did write a little bit.
How did you find the pen?
They had, like, a little marker in the room to, like, write down, like, bathroom times.
You stole that marker and you wrote on a paper towel?
Yeah. I had to empty it. It's like, okay, you're with yourself for 10 days, right? And it was just like going to meditate became even harder. Like the first couple days, it was easier. But as you keep going, it starts to become like super repetitive, super like tedious feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just needed to empty out the thoughts because then it was like, oh, look at all this stuff that's coming up. And then like once I wrote it down, it was like there and I can just be empty again.
So I know you got a lot of insights and breakthroughs. So and it'll come out, you know, as we progress week after week. But I'd love to hear like what is like 1 or 2 things that you took away that you want to share.
Well, the first thing is that responsibility. Like I'm responsible for everything in my life. I'm responsible for the sensations in my body. I'm responsible for the way I act. According to how the sensations, because everything was about sensation and how everything manifests into a sensation.
How reactive we are
to the sensation. Yeah. And so I got to see like where I've been operating from. And so I've been doing a lot of work with like Landmark, and a lot of times with the assignments, I was not clear. So if you guys don't know about Landmark Worldwide is a company that offers transformational courses. So Sunset, you're like you've been doing Landmark courses and then you went to Vipassana, so you're like in a transformation roller coaster. Yeah.
Here.
So a lot of times they will ask me like, you know, because Vipassana is about the root and then Landmark is a lot about the root stuff too. So a lot of times I just had too much going on that I couldn't get clear when things started. So I had to like really see like where I've been operating from and how I've been operating like the deeper level has been from insecurity, and not so much like bodily insecurity. I feel like I've gotten over that. I've gone over a big hump with that, but just insecurity about failure, insecurity about being like, you know, my smartness, whatever you want to call it, my insecurities about family and kids, like all this stuff. And that because I've been like that, how ungenuine I really been, like just being fake, like acting like I have it together, acting like I know it all, but really I don't know shit. And realizing how insensitive I've been to other people's like emotions. So like, for instance, like one of my friends that came up, like she like had a kid and she got married really young, and when she came back from the military and all that, I was really like not sensitive to her about it. I was just like, what are you doing? And I just saw how I was putting my judgments on myself and my beliefs onto someone else. So that was hard for me. It's one thing if I got hurt and I got picked on or whatever, but for me to like put that misery to someone else, like that's the part that was hard for me. So I had days where I didn't want to look in the mirror. There was days where I was like, why should I be happy? Like, I don't deserve to be happy. You know, like having to deal with that, like that was hard to know that I could have possibly hurt somebody else because of my own shit. And so that was a big one. So just really taking responsibility, like taking responsibility in my relationships, how I would blame the guy, like, oh, you weren't vulnerable enough. You weren't open enough. You didn't know what you wanted. But really, they were all, like, I looked at all of them. They were all just mirrors of me. All the way. So I had to do some apology letters, like in my writings. And then I learned a lot about commitment and how like the little voice in my head and my fears and stuff like that take up so much more energy that really doesn't leave me to my commitments. And, you know, because you're there for 10 hours a day meditating, and you have to be really committed. You have to be persistent, like, to your transformation. Nobody's holding your hand. It's all you by yourself. So I had to learn, like, you know, I was talking a little bit before I left about having crutches, and I started to see, like, my crutch is just my anxiety. I use that as an excuse, and I don't want to use it anymore because I want to do the things that I want for me. So it's just like standing in the face of fear, and even if when everything starts to hurt in my body and everything is an excuse to just like not feed it. Yeah. And so I had to learn a lot about commitment also. So those two big ones was responsibility and commitment. Wow. And it was a tough one because I'm still, it's like, it's funny. The way I set up the train to come back, they didn't tell me that it ended like the 11th day or something, or day 0. It was only to 7:30 in the morning. After that, you can go home. But I thought it was going to be all day. So I set the train up the next day. And I'm happy I did that because I got to serve. So I got to give back. But also I needed to like have a day to really get integration. Yeah, integration and what it is to be equanimous, because I was kind of like, man, I don't want to go back. Like, I want to stay here. Like, I'm happy here. Nobody expects anything out of me. It's simple. But then I just realized that, like, that's just hiding. I saw myself wanting to hide away.
And those expectations are the ones we put on ourselves. So when I stop putting those expectations on myself, who gives a shit if
then I can be free?
Yeah, and then anybody can put their expectations, and it has nothing to do with me. You can have all the thoughts you want to have about me and your opinions. Well, and it's none of my business.
Word. And it's just, I saw, I was like, ooh, like, you're not trying to take responsibility. And it's like, kept coming back. I was like, all right, I'm going to take this day to, like, you know, to really get back into the world, to really be equanimous. Like, yeah, I had this breakthroughs here, but there's still a lot more work to do. And really, like, know what it is to stand in the face of fear, but also know that it's gonna take time. Because I say that a lot, like, oh, you know, like, everything you do is a practice. It takes time, you know. But now I really know what that means. But also to be diligent, because I feel like we all say that too, like, oh, it takes time, but like being diligent, like taking like a stand for my life every moment,
and like really being aware that that's what you're up to, like you said, with the diligence.
Yeah.
Like if it is a practice, then you're actually aware that you're going to the gym and you're working out, and you know you're actually bringing yourself to it and not just waiting for it to happen.
Word. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to be, or it'll just work out. Like, just making all these excuses, like, and you know, I could be very, I guess, like, positive type, but sometimes it's like I don't know, just a lot of stuff like that. And really realizing also like everything I'm doing, everything I'm a part of, and I'm like, I had to think like, why am I doing the things I'm doing? Like, first of all, why did I get into yoga? You know, and where this anxiety came in, because when I first got into it, you know, I didn't have all this anxiety, and I realized it's because I kind of got a little bit off of my path. I realized I got into this because I wanted to just be free and not care what other people think about for my life, what I want for me. You know, and now it's like I feel like I'm back on the path, and I'm doing the work now,
And you're free.
and I'm free.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you, Sunset. You know, like really to commit to doing Vipassana is one thing, and actually getting there is another. Because I know for me, it took like 5 times of registering for it till I got there. You know, so when you're finally there, and to actually make it, someone was like, how's Sunset? It was like day 6. I was like, well, she's not here. You know, as long as she's not here, whatever is perfect. She's taken care of.
Day 8 was hard for me. Like, I was like about to like get up and go, but then again, it was super hard, and I just realized, you know what, we was like some meditations, a little bit about Vipassana. Some meditations, it was like you had to come in and everybody had to be in a group. And then some of the meditations, it was like you could either stay in the hall, the main meditation area, or you can go to your own space. But before you do that, like for those meditations, you had to come in and sit for like 5 minutes and get the directions, and then you can leave if you want to. I was at a point was like, I don't want to go into that room. That room was giving me anxiety and pissing me off. I had to deal with anger a lot too. Like, it wasn't that I was crying so much. I was just pissed off and want to hit a tree. But I left, and like my teacher, the teacher person who helps out the main teacher, was like, you know, if you want to go, you can go. Like, nobody's forcing you here. Like, this is free. Like, you can go whenever you want. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going. I'm going to be committed, like Goenka was talking about. And I'm going to like keep working and working, because even on the last day, like the last meditation day, the main one, I was meditating, and I noticed that the biggest sensations I got were my solar plexus and my heart, was where I felt my heart going really fast. Even though I was calm, it was going by fast. And I had like almost like a vision of my future. And I was just like, if I don't deal with this stuff right now, 2 things are going to happen. I'm going to die from a heart attack, because that's how in tune I was with myself. Or I'm going to get like ulcers and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's going to manifest one way or another.
Yeah. And I just said,
girl,
deal with it now. So that's what I tell people. Just deal with it now, because then it's just going to get worse, because your body is going to deteriorate.
Guys, it's so important. It's so important to like, you know, get the tools that you need to deal with these human things. You know, anger, I mean, you're human. You're going to feel resentment, and you're going to feel angry, and it's what you do with it that matters. You know, first of all, don't beat yourself up for being an angry person. You're human. And you know there's stuff to heal, so you can let go of that resentment, but that will be there. And the second thing that comes up is fear. Like, I felt so much fear when I went to Vipassana. I was so afraid of like just you know, my family dying, or all these, I would have all these crazy thoughts, and I realized I'm such a worrier. You know, I pretend like, oh, everything is great, but what's going on in my head is not like everything is great. It was worry about this, worry about that.
You realize how much pain you store in your body too. Like, I realize how good I am with hiding pain from other people. And
you're strong, girl. You're tough. You got that New York tough.
Yeah. But it makes for a lonely life, because everybody's thinking that everything's okay, but for me this year, I've been running around like super fearful, anxious, fearful, depressed, but nobody knows, because that was my strong suit. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to seem insecure, so I didn't show it. But I realized that when I just speak it, not that it's all the way my truth, like it's my truth, but it's like I don't give it power anymore. So I'm like, yeah, like that's where I've been operating from, and I'm dealing with it, and that's it.
Awesome, you guys. If you want to find out more about Vipassana, it's all over the world. Their website is dhamma.org. That's DHAMMA.org. You know, it's not for the faint of heart. And if you know you're ready for it, you know, make that commitment and take those 10 days out of your life to create something beyond, I mean, it's so worthwhile, but you got to know you're ready for it.
Yeah,
it's a
you
big
gotta
commitment.
you gotta like you have to be at a space where you're like, I'm totally ready to get clear, because no one's holding your hand. Like, you know, like in Landmark you have like the WhatsApp apps and you can have someone hold your hand in a way. Like, there's no one holding your hand. It's like all you. Like, you gotta be like 100% like, I'm ready to like take off the Band-Aid. So it's like, if you know you're not there, maybe it's not for you. But when you are ready, that you're like, you know what, like sitting on the floor with your dog in your hand saying, I don't want to do this shit anymore, then you're ready. Then you're like,
The food was the bomb, huh?
oh yeah, the food was good. I like just having a meal, like not having to worry about my next meal, not having to worry about cooking it and whatever. It was like
Being served.
no.
So great.
Yes.
And that's the idea, is that everything's out of your space to really have this experience
Yes.
to realize what there is to realize. And, you know, the people who serve the food there are there serving, and how the food is prepared is it's so sacred. And yeah, the food is one of my favorite parts. They really take care of the food well. They have vegan options. They have gluten-free options. They have, it's like awesome.
Where you can definitely like comfort eat there, like great. You know what I
Easily.
mean? Like, I ate a lot. Like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, yep, Vipassana.
Did you notice
Like,
they have coffee?
Yeah, they do.
So I asked them how come they have coffee, because coffee is a stimulant and you're not supposed to drink coffee. And the only answer they could give me is when Goenka came to New York, he wanted coffee. So they gave him coffee, and it's just, they've kept coffee there. There's no logical reason except that was the story. So-
Wow. I try to keep away from the coffee until like the later days.
Me
where
too.
I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna. And I hadn't had coffee in a long time. I was just like, I'm just gonna have some coffee.
I started
like,
having coffee with regular milk, which I don't usually drink, but I was just enjoying the coffee there. That's when I started putting cardamom in my coffee. When I
Really?
started making the Turkish coffee latte.
Yeah.
So I would like make coffee, and then I would make it into a latte, and I would sprinkle some cardamom, so it was like a Turkish coffee but with milk. That's where I invented that.
Wow. Yeah, because like especially the breakfast, because it's always the like, you know, the lunch is always different, but the breakfast is the same every morning. So like for me, I had to find new ways to like really liven it up, because I was like, if I had to eat oatmeal another fucking day, I'm gonna kill myself. But you know, you learn there's a like tahini and all this amazing stuff, you know. So they really like shout out to the people at Southeast Vipassana and Jessup, Georgia. Like, you guys are awesome. What
Really
you guys
taken
are doing,
care of,
like,
so beautiful. And you guys, so you know too, Vipassana is designed so that when you go through the whole thing, and at the end you make a donation, and your donation goes towards paying it for the next person, as yours was paid by the person before you. So that's the system that Vipassana is run by, like all over the world, is a donation based service. So
word. And if you know what, like if you have like a farm or something like that, and all you can do is donate food, they'll take it. Somebody donated a whole bag, like a whole thing of Himalayan salt. They told us one time, like a big bag. So like they take everything.
And they try to, at best they can, like source local, organic produce and serve that up. I was really impressed when I served there. Like, a lot of what they got was organic, and they really do their best to keep it local and conscious. And it's pretty impressive, given, you know, the size of the amount of people that they feed, you know, to maintain the integrity that way. Even like with the cleaning products and everything, what they clean the place with, it was impressive. Super, super awesome. Well, great. Good work, Sunset. So you guys, I want to share with you a couple of things. So next year, I'm going to be going on a cruise. It's called the Intuition Cruise, April 9th through the 15th. And I'm going to be presenting on this cruise. Check it out. Perhaps you want to come and be with us. It's called intuitioncruise.com. There's a lot of amazing speakers that are talking about, like, you know, quantum physics, multidimensional, medical intuitives, you know, channelers, paranormal, energy healers, like people who are really out there and on the tip of what's going on with consciousness. It's a pretty special cruise. You know, I jumped on when I saw all the different speakers that are on, and I'm going to be teaching yoga and doing a Shakti dance workshop.
Yay!
Yeah.
Shakti.
So that's going to be next year, 2017 in April. So if you want more information, go to intuitioncruise.com or contact me directly at ZNationRadio.com. So yeah, and let's see. I was in Landmark this weekend.
Ooh, how was that like?
Yeah, I just wanted to take just a minute to share about that. It was awesome. It was a Landmark Forum in Fort Lauderdale, and I was assisting. I'm a course supervisor at Landmark, so I organized the forums, and I coach a lot of the participants in the distinctions and in the course. It was an extraordinary weekend. I just love the Landmark Forum so much for what it provides for people, like really witnessing humans awakening to their truth, awakening to their and stepping into their own power, giving up being a victim, giving up being at the effect of life and becoming cause of our lives, really getting that we are the creators, so that was really awesome. What I got for myself, it was really eye-opening for me. One thing that I saw is I walk around life pretending like I'm like this small person, and it's actually strange for people when they interact with me because I am so amazing and extraordinary, and I pretend like I'm not. It's like the filter that I'm operating from. And I just got this weekend, like, how inauthentic that is. It's so full of shit. And it's so I can avoid being responsible for being that big of a person, right? So I'm just taking on a new world. I created the possibility of being extraordinary. And that really inspired me because what I got is I've been being run by this, like, oh, poor me thing. But it's so in the background and it's so covered up with my positive woo-woo crap.
Yeah.
And then when and that's really like, it's really raw and authentic for me to share that, that I've been pretending to be small when in fact I'm this huge light, and there's nowhere else to go and there's nowhere else to fucking hide. I'm me. And it's like that Marianne Williamson quote about shining your light, I should have pulled it up, but it's like not being afraid to shine my light, being afraid that people would judge me or whatever, or that I can't keep up with that image of myself, like I'm giving up that story, and it's exciting. And, now what there is to do is like take actions that an extraordinary person would take versus a person who's feeling sorry for themselves and, in that vicious cycle. So it's like, it's a moment to moment thing because I saw how natural it is to fall into that pity pool. It's just a default, but it's not who I am. It's just a default from my identity, from my childhood or whatever, and their brain patterns that can be changed, and like you said, it's the diligence. Really being aware and being committed to transforming. And nobody's going to hold your hand. That's how life is. This is your path. This is your life. And you get to say, nobody's going to tell you, this is the way for you, or this is the path for you, or this is what you need to do. It's like we really got to step into that Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Call in your inner guru. Guru. Do you know that? Guru, if you spell it out, it's Guru. So you are the guru. G, like for goddess or gangster, or GJI. You are you. All right, you guys, we're going to go on a break and check in with our amazing sponsors. Thank you so much, everybody who tunes in. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for listening. And thank you for sharing the show. We'll be right back right here on SoFloRadio.com.
Tune in to get tuned in. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise.
Julie has been teaching kids for over 8 years in after-school programs, summer camps, and local studios.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Omar is a certified hypnotist with an intuitive and gentle approach that empowers his clients, allowing them to realize their own wisdom. Personally, I'd been stuck in a heartbreak, and with Omar's help, I got to the root of my suffering and my attachment to staying in relationships that no longer served me. I instantly felt lighter and free from resentment for the first time in years. Contact Omar at 305-343-9210 and cause a breakthrough in your life.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Clark, and I'm a yoga teacher and student at I Love Yoga Studio. It's been my privilege to practice, learn, and expand in this place of ever-evolving love and spiritual growth. When you visit, you'll most likely be greeted with a welcome home, and that's exactly how you will feel, at home and free to be. The studio offers yoga classes that meet you at your level of practice with affordable prices. So check out our schedule at www.iloveyogastudio.com. See you on the mat. Namaste.
Join the ZNation team as a marketing partner. We are always looking for conscious, sustainable businesses to support and share with our growing community. If your business is one that serves humanity and you want the world to know, we want to help you grow. Sponsorship opportunities are available for all budgets and flavors. For more info, call us at 954-604-1290 or visit ZNationRadio.com.
Now back to Z Nation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
Like a broken doll in pieces, cause I took the fall for you. You don't chomp, you left me free falling like space junk, burning up in the atmosphere of life. Well, I sound like a philosopher, but I'm a fool, cause I'm a rocker, cause I let you in my heart that one last time. Stop heading up, hey mama, I'm gonna get up and out and wow.
That was I Love Myself Today. Well, who was it by again?
Lindsay, what's her name?
Wait, say that again?
Bip Naked.
Oh,
Bip
okay.
Naked, a Canadian artiste. Awesome. Thanks for referring her. The song is called I Love Myself Today. She's a little bit angry, and that's okay.
I think listen, I was a Vipassana, and that's all I was, angry. I was just
Right?
like, fuck!
And I think that song just reflects, like, you know, her anger is like, it's like took her to this place of like, fuck it, fuck you, I'm gonna love myself, and that's where we're gonna start from. Thank you for that. Woo! All right, so we've got Lindsay. I'm gonna read a little bit from your website, Lindsay. Okay, this is the home page. It says Rage Yoga. Rage Yoga. A noun, a practice involving stretching, positional exercises, and bad humor. You know, I think that's a Canadian thing, bad humor, with the goal of attaining good health and to become, it all makes sense now, and become zen as fuck. More than just a practice, Rage Yoga is an attitude. And then this is Lindsay. She created Rage Yoga for all of us who want the benefits of yoga, but never quite fit into a conventional class. So if you want to better your strength, your flexibility, and become zen as fuck, enjoy the occasional F-bomb or innuendo, you've come to the right motherfucking place. I added that. Awesome.
There, but I like it.
Awesome, girl. So, you know, I'm curious to know, like, okay, how did you start with yoga? Have you always done yoga? And then just get us in your world. How did you get started in this yogi world?
Oh, well, I actually started totally backwards from, what would be normal. Of course, I like to do everything the hard way for some reason. It seems to be my MO. I have no idea why, but there you go. I actually started off as a contortionist. So I was about 19 when I decided that I wanted to be a contortionist, and I had no idea exactly how hard that was going to be. And so I started in the more extreme spectrum. So much less spiritual, more just, extreme flexibility, like let's do the thing. And then I went to China to train for about 3 months, and it was really there that my practice started to become accidentally more spiritual.
Wait, and like a contortionist, like to do what? To be in the circus? To do commercials? Like what do contortionists do? What do you get hired for?
I've been doing a lot of, I guess you could say, renegade circus arts for the last about 5 years. That's actually how I've been making my bread and butter.
That's so cool. Wow.
Thank you. I like to tell people I'm a full-time professional weirdo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to China,
Yeah.
and studied for 3 months, more contortionist studies, and then that's where you started discovering this practice could be spiritual.
Absolutely. I went from, being in my own comfort zone to being in a world where I barely was around anybody who spoke my own language. Everything was just upside down and backwards. Everything was totally different, and I spent a lot of time by myself. There was no crazy Wi-Fi and stuff, so it was actually very similar to what you were talking about earlier. There for 3 months and working through a lot of discomfort, learning a lot about myself, just being isolated and going to this regular practice almost every day really opens up a lot in yourself. Yes. And very much what you were saying before, no one was holding my hand. It really was, everything that I put in was what I got out. And I was, going and practicing outside of classes as well. For a while, I was practicing about 40 hours a week. Wow. My body was not very happy with me. That's okay. And when you're working through a lot of these things, a lot of these extreme poses, in this particular world of contortion, if you look like you're about to cry, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep counting to 40, and you're going to have to just breathe through it. And that was actually the space where things started to really open up for me, was learning how to find something stronger and more concrete within myself in order to hold on to that to get through this, just understanding that this too will pass, and starting to just learn how to let go and relax through, like, the worst discomfort I've ever experienced in my life.
Wow.
Really how it all started. No.
And that was from like just doing the extensive stretching?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's so interesting. So, and then how did you roll into yoga? Did you take a yoga teacher training? And what guided you there?
Well, like I said, my journey has definitely been very backwards. So I did a lot of...
It is your journey.
Pardon?
I said that is your journey. It's unique to you.
Right. Yeah, just had to do things as convolutedly as possible. But yeah, so I started off in the contortion. I started teaching flexibility to a lot of people, and I really wanted to share with people the lessons that I had learned in my own journey, that, you can connect to something, bigger and deeper within yourself, that you can really empower yourself and become more in tune with the world around you through this kind of practice. And so I, started rage yoga because I wanted to, there's a bit of more of another tangent story there, but we'll come back to that.
Yes, we definitely want to go into that.
Yeah, I read a little bit online. Like, I found out about you because another yoga teacher that we had interviewed, which is like very like out there, and she's awesome, had pulled up your article, and I was like, rage yoga, and I looked at it, and she was like, she titled it like there's something for everyone, and I was like, wait a minute, and I read it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so different. I gotta find out about this chick, like so yeah. So you created rage yoga, all of that. Go back.
Yeah, so I created rage yoga because I really saw that there was a large group of people that were kind of like me, that needed to go about finding their inner peace in a very unconventional way. There's a lot of people who kind of go into a more conventional yoga studio, and the very like calm and serene approach actually does the opposite effect of what it's intended to do.
Pisses them off.
Right? The people who kind of need to be almost like coaxed into serenity in a different way. And hence rage yoga. So I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've taken like an online certification, which I know is not ideal. I'm actually coming up for my full certification, I think within like the next 2 months, and I'm so excited about it. Learning so much all the time. Yeah, my very backwards.
Hey, my opinion is teacher trainings are just all a hoax anyways, and I run one, okay? And but it's an interesting thing, like how we teach people to teach yoga and these 200-hour things, and it's strange. It's strange. So I don't know, for me, whether you do an online certification or you go to Bali to do it, or you just go to even if you go to India, like it's just such a short time, right? And there's yoga is so big, it's so vast, it's beyond like everything we teach in teacher training, so yeah, it just depends on where you're at for yourself and like what's next for you. Some people could take a certification program online and just really rock it, and it could be exactly what they needed. So, but how does it work? Do you do like group conference calls? Do you get to know the people that are doing it, or is it just really you studying the online certification?
The online certification that I did, it was all pre.
Okay.
Yeah, you watch a lot of different things, you do a couple of different assignments and stuff, and then you complete with your certificate. I'm pretty excited for the in-person one. I think that it's going to be really awesome, because it's like a 21-day show. Like,
oh, where are you going for that?
Pardon?
Where are you going?
Here in Calgary, actually.
Oh.
It's Zoya Yoga.
Okay.
It seems like a really great program. It has some really, really great reviews, and the people that I've been talking with who run the program are just super chill, and I'm excited.
I'm down for that. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
And you have a studio called Rage Yoga in Calgary?
Well, not a studio, no. Our practice is very different. Like I was saying before about people coming into studios and kind of having that opposite reaction that's intended. When I decided to make Rage Yoga, I wanted to make it as unlike your conventional yoga studio experience as possible. So I thought, what's the most opposite of a yoga studio? A pub.
Wait, so you do the classes in the pub?
Yes.
And all the classes?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so Rage Yoga happens at a pub. And do you like have a partner pub, or do you just skip around?
I actually partnered with Dickens Pub here. It's a local pub that has some of like the coolest and weirdest events. When I decided I wanted to do it in a pub, I was like, Dickens is my number one choice. They also do things like painting with Bob Ross night. They have like 80s gothic industrial nights.
What's Bob Ross?
Bob Ross?
Yeah.
Like the painting guy who's like, oh, we're just going to paint some little trees and remember.
Yes, on PBS or whatever.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay, so what time are the classes at?
Pardon?
What time do the classes run?
We have Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 6 till 7.
So it's happy hour.
Well, I'd call it my happy hour anyway.
Yeah. So where do you do it in the pub? Like they have a room for it, or you move stuff around and clean the floors?
There's actually this awesome little back room, and we even have permanently installed curtains now too to kind of give it a little bit of separation. We were putting up curtains before, but it was so much work, and I'm really short, so putting them up was like, it was hard. And now they're just permanently installed. It makes my life so much easier.
And how many people can it hold?
Pardon?
I need to pause because of the Skype thing. I keep speaking. I just need to pause when you speak because of the Skype. There's a little lag. So, I was saying, how many people does the room fit?
15.
Wow, awesome! And when did you start? How long ago have you been doing these classes?
Since January 4th.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! So this is recently.
It's super new. So my vision was initially to start getting this regular practice, to start, just dipping my toes in the water and really start putting together this thing that I wanted to create. And then I was prepared for it to start doing well in like July. That was my plan. And of course, like the most well-laid plans of mice and men often go awry, obviously. It just went viral. It went from one article to another article, and then it just exploded overnight, and that's what we've been dealing with. It's been very stressful, not gonna lie, but it's also been super beneficial because it's inspired me to do a lot more things. Like we're already putting together a retreat for 2017 in Scotland.
Come on, girl.
What?
So how did it blow up like that?
Pardon?
How did it blow up? How did the word get out?
Well, I guess there was one person who wanted to make it to one of the Rage Yoga classes and then didn't make it. Something came up and she was talking to her friend about it, being like, oh, I really wanted to go to this practice. It seemed like it was super awesome, but I didn't get to make it. He was like, I'm sorry, what? And he worked for a local paper. So he decided to come out and check it out and write an article. And then this one article kind of got a little bit of buzz, but what really happened is that somebody who works for CBC saw it and was like, hey, this is brilliant. And came and did a video piece followed by a written article. And then that article, because CBC is pretty big, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, it went crazy. Like people started picking it up everywhere. And now I've done interviews from like Moscow.
Wow.
all over the States, New Zealand, Australia. I've had people contact me about learning how to teach rage yoga all the way from Iceland.
What?
Pretty crazy. I had somebody from South Africa contact me about franchising, and these are all things that I really want to do, but we're just not ready yet. Like, it's still so new. So 2017, I have some really awesome plans. I'm looking forward to franchising out. I really want to get regular practice in a couple of different places in the States, and maybe branch out. Maybe like, why not South Africa? Why not? Right?
Yeah.
So,
shit.
We're it's imminent.
So how did rage yoga come about? I know you said it was for the people who are not average, but I know it has like a little backstory. So what's like the backstory behind
Your backstory?
Yeah, yours. So what, like, yeah.
Like superhero origin stories of rage yoga. I'm kind of a nerd. Anyway.
It's all good, girl.
Nerds are hot.
Yeah.
It's the new sexy.
Excellent. But a while ago, I think this would be about a year and a half ago now, I went through a really crappy breakup. And this was the breakup of a 3.5-year long-term relationship. We were engaged, and when that went to shit, my world just fell apart. And, I was working a lot at the time. I think it was like Christmas season, so I was doing gigs back to back to back to back, so I didn't have time to process. I was just, I had to like put it over here and then just push through. And then suddenly January came, and I had nothing. My calendar was open. I had nowhere to go. I had nothing to distract me. And I pretty much just went crazy because all these emotions that I've been stuffing aside suddenly really started coming out. And it was not comfortable. But I've always had a really strong at-home practice for the last like 5-6 years. And I was doing my thing on the mat, doing whatever. And then all of a sudden during my practice, that's when all these emotions that I've been really pushing away started just pouring out. And so, I'm like doing my thing, and suddenly there's a lot more like, fuck! Maybe some like shouting, maybe like a couple of tears, and then suddenly it was just all pouring out. There was really nothing that I could do. And at first, like, it made me feel like I was a crazy person, and I'm sure that my neighbors also thought I was a crazy person. I found that pairing this practice, like my practice that has always been the thing that has, kept me sane, kept me level-headed, and, connected me to something that is bigger than myself, to take something that really meant so much to me and allowed me to drop my mask and be me, and pair it with actually letting go of these emotions that I otherwise was not able to, was actually super, super helpful. So a lot of people, when they hear the term rage yoga, they think, like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of yoga? And I don't think so. I really don't. I think that the paths are many, but the truth is one. And sometimes you really just need to let things out in order to heal and move on. And sometimes you have to like battle through some bullshit to get to your zen.
Oh yeah.
I think that's such a... I saw that the other day on Facebook. There was an article called like the yoga of darkness, and it was so right on with that. It's like, yoga is not about being positive. It's not about everything being pretty. In fact, yoga is about saying the truth, and sometimes the truth is ugly, and and it could look all kinds of ways. And I think it's so important to demystify that, to like distinguish the truth that, yeah, yoga could look pretty, but that's life. Life sometimes is pretty, sometimes it's ugly, and it's our ability to be with all of it. And, anger is real. We're not going to stuff the anger with asana. Stuff your anger.
I agree. But yeah, so this became my thing that I started doing for, a couple of weeks, and it really started helping. And I made a joke over Facebook, something about how, I felt like crap today. And so, I kind of wanted to like do all of these other things, but instead I'm going to stay in and I'm going to rage stretch. You heard me, rage stretch. And a friend of mine was like, oh man, I can totally picture you teaching rage yoga. And I was just like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I like it. And you did it.
You're like the furious butterfly.
I think that's so awesome that you went with it. I've been really exploring this, like, the voice of the heart is the radical one, and that's a perfect example of somebody following their hearts, and then the mind is like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, this is just crazy, rage yoga. But then you put it out there, and people are raving about it, raging.
It was pretty great. I mean, like, it started off as a joke. So, this joke became, wouldn't it be funny if I taught a rage yoga workshop at this festival? I was already teaching, say, like contortion and contact juggling at this festival. So really hard to add another class. And I did it, and it went over really, really well. I actually had people coming up to me afterwards that were just like, I cried in the end. I got that.
So that was the first one that you taught, was at a festival?
Yeah, it was just at this festival I was already teaching at, and it went over so well that somebody else booked it for another festival. And after doing it twice and getting these really positive responses, it was very obvious that it wasn't a joke anymore, that there was actually something there. And I had really like struck this nerve that a lot of people didn't really have an avenue to tap into. So I went ahead and I created my regular practice, and then it just, went crazy.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you. You know, the expression of yoga, like all these different yogas being created, it annoys some yogis. For me, it's just like, it just shows us that yoga is working, because yoga is like just being fully self-expressed and like making shit up and questioning things and being outside the box. And, you know, rage yoga, fuck yeah. So cool. So you were talking about an online program. So because you're in Calgary and not everybody's going to go to Calgary to go to that pub, you've developed an online program because of the demand. So tell us a little bit more about how that works.
I'm super excited about the online programs because, like I said, I have been getting a global reach, and unfortunately teleporting is not, efficient yet. You might lose an arm. So
especially the Calgary, we haven't refined that.
Although I had 4 people visiting from San Francisco come to my class last night.
Wow.
What?
I had a lot of people who were visiting Calgary from the States, and they're like, or they were visiting a couple hours away or something, and they drove into Calgary to come to Rage Yoga, or they happened to be in town, and they were like, I need to see Rage Yoga while I'm here. It's becoming like a tourist attraction.
D-Rage, I bet. I want to know, too, like, what's a class like? I just realized, like, I'm not. Yeah, can you just give us kind of like a bird's eye view? Like, I'm just looking from the, just getting. What's it sound like? What does it look like? It's a regular class. They're on their mats.
Yeah, so it's actually surprisingly more like a regular class than a lot of people would guess. There are a couple of news articles out there that really latched on to like the fact that you can drink during class, and the fact that we swear, and the fact that it's in a bar, and just blew it out of proportion. And there's a lot of articles that kind of lead people to believe that it's a bunch of shitheads just getting drunk, swearing, and making fun of yoga while maybe stretching.
Oh, no. How dare they?
Pardon?
I said, how dare they? Oh. So, but it's not that. There's more to it.
It's really not that. It's actually surprisingly more like a regular yoga class than you would think. I talk more throughout it, and I like make a lot of really bad jokes. That's a little different. It's in a pub. You can have a beer during class because you're an adult, so it's an option. And we start off with a very like peaceful, serene moment where we get in touch with our breathing, and then we move through some core work to get the blood pumping. We move through a couple of different sequences, and then we close off with a short savasana. I think that one of the main reasons that it's like a little bit more different is because it is kind of based off of the vinyasa flow.
Yeah.
You actually use the breath a lot to just express, and sometimes expressing comes out in very vulgar ways. So we might do things, there's an exercise that I like to joke about called screaming and giving up on life. Very good. So we ground through our feet, we pull all the way up through, we inhale our hands up nice and high. On the exhale, we just flop forward and just let out whatever we need to let out. And, the most common thing you hear is fuck. Just really loud, like, fuck!
It feels so good.
Thing, right? I think my favorite was, I asked you to wash the dishes yesterday.
Oh my God. That sounds like primal, right? Like primal work with yoga. It's just like just having, permission to go there wherever you need to go without judgment. I think that's the biggest thing too. Like people don't come to yoga studios because they're scared they're going to be judged because they're not dressed like yogis, or they don't talk like a yogi, or they eat meat, or they drive a Range Rover. I don't know, whatever as people feel like they're going to be judged. But so you essentially, what I get is like you've created a space where people can practice yoga and have the benefits of this amazing practice in a place where they can be themselves, essentially. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, for those who really connect with the idea and like the philosophies of Rage Yoga, those people who connect with it are actually getting a lot out of it, and it's really great to see. It's absolutely not for everybody. Some people really do prefer like the wind chimes and you know, the namaste and the
but you're getting the ones that would not get yoga.
Pardon?
You're getting the ones that would not get yoga. They would not go to yoga if it wasn't for this. You're picking up the stragglers. You're picking up the ones that there's no chance they would walk into a yoga studio. That's so freaking cool, Lindsay. Thank you for doing
I like it too. These are people who now they have this opportunity to connect to the world of yoga in a way that speaks to them. And some of them will stick with rage yoga, but some of them are also going to move on to a more traditional practice. You know, eventually they're everything they can out of rage yoga, and they're going to want something a bit more chill. Like their anger will be worked through, and then they'll want to move on to something else. And it's really cool to offer people that kind of window, you know?
I mean this in the most honorable way, and I'll call this, it's like a gateway drug.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's like the gateway to, like, you know, like they say like hot yoga is the gateway.
Absolutely. It's another gateway drug.
It's like hot yoga is for the gym heads. Rage yoga is for the people who like to go out and drink.
They won't be chanting Sri Ram anytime soon.
Yeah. You know, it's like everybody is going to get their daily dose of spirituality in whatever way. It's just translating all this information. That's it. We're just all just translators. That's it. And you're translating it in your own way, and people are getting it. And like you said, you're allowing people to work through their shit. Like, some people need to curse and scream and let it out. I'm one of those people. I'm all about, like, in my class, they'd be like, we're going to do a move called Let That Shit Go. And it's something very similar to what you were saying. And it's like, some of them, like, sometimes they say, like, other shit. They'd be like, fuck, or whatever. And it's awesome to just let people just get it out, you know, and just deal with it. Because we just need to deal with it. That's it.
Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for having the courage to do what's in your heart. You know, it's so inspiring, and that in itself inspires others to follow their hearts. So you're like, you're hitting a lot of great things. You know, you haven't just created a yoga for people who wouldn't usually do yoga, but you're inspiring in a way that, you know, allows others to do maybe things that are, you know, outside the box and know that they can do it too. So thank you for doing that. All the way from Calgary. Thank you, sister. Lindsay, I didn't ask you this before, but I'll ask you now. Would you like to do a 2-minute meditation to take us out?
Yeah, the Rage Yoga edition, if you want.
A rage meditation. Just a 2-minute something. Take us somewhere.
Sure, we can do something short. All right. So, do you want to play some music in the background, or should I just dive right into it? Or
I'm playing a little something.
She's got you.
Yeah, it's gonna be some wind chime type stuff. You know, rage it out.
Awesome. Oh, the bird noises! Fabulous. Fabulous. So now we're just gonna come to a very comfortable seated position. So your legs.
Oh.
Hold.
Something happens.
Are we still there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm like, what happened?
Damn it! Can't believe that happened! Hurry up! Give him a meditation!
All right. So we're starting this again?
Take your time, girl.
All right. So we're going to start in a very comfortable seated position. So your legs can be crossed in front of you, splayed out, however feels good for you today. And then take our hands, we can rest them in our lap, on our knees, or in double fist unicorn to channel the energy of giving 0 fucks.
Oh my God, that's the middle finger, y'all.
They're breathing. We're going to inhale deep in through our nose, letting our belly. When we do, let the lower ribs in the back expand as well too. And maybe on the exhale, we'll use that force to sit up just a little bit taller. And so here, we're just going to be focusing on these lovely, lovely bird noises and the breath. And if you feel all the horse shit and monkey thoughts of the day seeping into your head, just try to let that shit go on the next exhale.
Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit is right. So you might feel all those small nagging thoughts still populating your brain. And that's okay. We're just going to come to a place where we can observe them but not absorb them. We can let them spiral around us, almost like wind. We are the eye of the storm, and we are unmovable. We are effortlessly grounded in this moment. Take more breaths here. And we'll inhale our hands back up nice and high, bring them down in double fist, and then let's put a gentle fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Oh, rock on, sister. Thank you so much. Namaste, bitches. Thank you so much for coming on, Lindsay. We love you. And thank you all for listening. We appreciate you. We see you. We know who you are. And just keep doing the work, you guys. Keep enjoying life. Keep loving yourself and loving others. Have mercy on your own humanity and have mercy on humanity, because, you know, we're all on this ride together. So let's be good. Let's be good to each other, and let's be generous and kind. We love you. Peace.
Cheers.
Peace out, you guys.
Namaste.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.